Recorded Books presents The Rooster House, a Ukrainian family memoir by Victoria Belim, narrated by Amrita Acharia.
In memory of my grandmother, Valentina, 1934 to 2021. Who are we? Of what fathers born? Taras Shevchenko. It's so clear, you see, that if we're to begin living in the present, we must first of all redeem our past, and then be done with it forever. Anton Chekhov, The Cherry Orchard. Prologue. I made the final revisions to the Rooster House in August 2022. And when rereading the manuscript against the backdrop of the recent news from Ukraine, I was struck anew by the urgency I felt in writing this book. My portrait of Ukraine is personal, tracing my own story against the tidal wave of Ukrainian history. At the same time, the book reveals the complicated nature of Ukrainian identity and the country's difficult relationship with its Soviet past. As such, the Rooster House explains the context in which the current war takes place. The year 2014 was a life-changing one for me, and its events made me realize the intensity of my connection to the place where I was born, even though I hadn't lived there for years. The annexation of Crimea showed how easily the world order could be reversed, and how fragile were the agreements made by nation-states. It also revealed to me the complexity of Ukraine's history, influenced by its geography as a borderland. Situated between Russia and the European Union, Ukraine cannot help but be pulled either in one or the other direction. Sometimes this oscillation means a vibrant exchange of ideas. Sometimes it turns into a catastrophe, as happened in 2014. That year, I returned to the country where I had lived for the first 15 years of my life to spend time with my grandmother, Valentina, and to rediscover Ukraine. The trips I made between then and 2019 provided the inspiration for the Rooster House. Reading The Rooster House at this time, I find an echo between old wars and the one still ongoing, one that I hope, despite its sad note, will resound even more powerfully for listeners who wish to understand the country I call home. While the future remains uncertain, Ukraine's resilience makes me hopeful that it will emerge out of this war victorious. I chose to write The Rooster House under my great-grandmother Asia's last name, Belim, using the spelling she preferred, to honor one of the most influential women in my life, and the one who inspired me to write down our stories. While the names of my family members are real, the first names of some people in the book have been changed for privacy reasons in light of the current situation in Ukraine. Part 1. To the Ukrainian Shore. Chapter 1. Uncle Vladimir and I fell out a month after his namesake annexed Crimea. At 3 a.m. Tel Aviv time, he sent me his last message saying that our family should be grateful to the Soviet Union. When I read my uncle's email at 8 a.m. in Brussels, I hardly noticed that his Skype avatar had turned lifelessly grey, and that his Viber profile no longer displayed a photo of him in the lotus pose. My attention was riveted by Vladimir's message. He wrote many outrageous things. America had brainwashed me. American capitalism had killed my father. But what struck a nerve was that we, meaning our family, owed the Soviet Union a debt of gratitude. The thought that anyone should long for a regime whose name was synonymous with totalitarianism struck me as obscene. I couldn't believe that my uncle, an avid practitioner of yoga and a keen photographer, had turned apologist for the atrocities of the Soviet Union. The USSR had hacked so ruthlessly at my family tree, decimating us in wars, famines, and purges, that we had paid dearly for the 7 decades of Soviet socialism. The more I sifted through the memories from my Soviet childhood in Ukraine and recalled the squalor of our lives in the 80s, the more my throat clenched and my temples throbbed. I closed my laptop, stepped over to the window and pressed my forehead against the cold glass. The gabled buildings of Brussels glistened after recent rain, and heavy clouds still hung over a dark line of trees in the distance that
Sample complete. Ready to continue?